So, twerking on top of a police cruiser? Coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense Logic and Reason. And as always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. So it seems like that we're just seeing an amazing increase in ratchetness in society, specifically coming from black females. You know, they're just basically out here acting fools and just bringing ghetto wherever they go. You know, they're the reason why with all these recent reports of Carnival Cruise having to make changes to basically stop these ghetto black folks from ghettoing up their cruise ship and giving them the name of basically the spirit of the seas. And again, that ghetto ratchetness, it doesn't stop there. It just go everywhere they go. They bring that ratchet ghetto nonsense with them. Well, it seems that it's becoming a trend now of these ratchet hoes dancing on police vehicles.
Hey guys, there are some questions about how police responded or handled this incident. Police Chief James White says the officer in question did not have a lot of options. Video of a woman using the top of a police vehicle as a dance floor is making waves on social media. Some questioning why DPD did not arrest her.
What's frustrating for me is to read that the officers didn't do anything. Okay, well, they did exactly what we're asking them to do, practice restraint.
Interim Police Chief James White addressing the situation during a press conference Monday. Video of the incident was posted to Facebook over the weekend. Not only was there a woman on top of the car, there was another dancing in front of it. All of it, according to White, happening at a party on the city's east side, with a few hundred people in attendance. Chief White says DPD's crowd management teams were there keeping an eye on things when a large crowd surrounded the SUV.
Had they drove off with this young lady on the hood of the car, on the very top of the vehicle, dancing, had they drove off and she rolled off the car and was injured, then I would be asking the question, you know, was that the right decision to make?
Chief White says there were no easy answers in that situation. People we talked with were stunned.
Totally unacceptable.
Because you can get away with anything in Detroit. Anything.
I look at it like this. The cops are working. You know, they're providing for us, they're trying to make us safe, but at the end of the day, they had a good show. Officers we talked with who wish to remain anonymous were divided on the issue. Some say they would have found a way to go after the woman and arrest her for disorderly conduct. Others, there was not much the officer could do in that situation.
Based on the facts that in the circumstances that he was dealing with over 100 people surrounding his car and choosing not to drive through the crowd with a person on the hood of the vehicle dancing, I think he's officer of the quarter based on what I've seen.
Even so, Chief White says that they are investigating what happened to see if the officer followed all department policies. Now, during that press conference, he also touched on the idea of mutual accountability, how police officers often have to exercise restraint, and on the other hand, the public has the responsibility to sort of police themselves, and dancing on a police vehicle is something that simply should not happen.
Okay, first off, I want to say that you know, it is absolutely insane. Completely insane to see that behavior. Matter of fact, there was a black female that was killed because she was twerking and dancing on top of a moving vehicle, and she fell off the vehicle and was hit by a fire truck. So she lost her life being ratchet and shaking her ass. My God. But the police basically in that video talked about, you know, these cops practicing restraint. And I'm like, boy, they want these cops to be there, put so much restraint on these cops that they can't do their damn jobs. I mean, it's so bad that police have been so handicapped that they can't do their jobs, which is allowing these people to get more ridiculous and more ratchet. And it's not like it's going to stop. Trust me, this nonsense never stopped. They're going to take it to a whole nother level. But then the guy talks about, the black guy, the cop in the interviews talked about how Well, if they would have drove off with a on the hood, and he would have to question if that was the right decision. Okay, well, you want to question the decision of the cops, but we're not going to question the decision of these idiots dancing on the cops. And if it gets to a point where someone believes that their lives are in danger, I can't blame them for pulling off. It's ridiculous. You're gonna go dance on top of a police vehicle, and really vehicles in general. But they've been dancing on top of vehicles. Now they just want to run up on the cops who are just patrolling and doing their jobs. And then there was this idiot female said that they got a good show. My God, if there was ever a need for a movement against this ghetto mentality, the movement that is absolutely needed for black people now, that right there is evidence, all the evidence that you need, that we need to have a movement against this ghetto ass behavior, because this is the problem of the black community. Anybody who keeps crying about white supremacy is either part of the problem, and they're benefiting financially from this, or they've been so brainwashed by a race that they can't see straight. They can't see the forest for the trees, that they're wearing those race colored glasses that allows them to see nothing but racism and white supremacy, and completely blocks out what's really happening. But if that cop would have really drove off and that girl would have been injured or even worse, killed, there'll be nothing. There wouldn't be cry. There wouldn't be saying, why, asking the question, why the hell is she on that car? All of these pro-blacks, these pro-victims will be crying racism, 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 and these racist cops. Like I said, but you want them to show more restraint. This is only going to lead to the belief that they can do anything, which is just going to encourage them to do more of anything. Just ridiculous, y'all. In closing, I want to say this. I want to give Tommy Sotomayor his flowers again. Does it seem like these people are afraid of cops? With all these talk about how cops are bad, these evil racist cops who got to teach our children how to act around cops, does it look like any of the parents of these people taught them how to act around anybody? No. And just like they're doing this, they will do this. They will do that everywhere, including like Carnival cruise ships. Wherever these people go, they take this nonsense and foolishness with them. And this is why I try to beg upon black people. We need to stop worrying about the white man, and we need to start worrying about the black man. Because the more again, as I said, this stuff is not going to stop. It's only going to ramp up. That foolishness does never stays at the same level. Somebody's always trying to push the boundary on something to get more attention. But this ghetto ratchet nonsense, y'all, this is the problem. This is what we need to be addressing as black people. But got so many black people, like I said, they've been so brainwashed by the big lie narrative that they can't see the forest for the trees. Anyway, y'all, this really truly insane, and it's really disheartening to start to see more and more of this foolishness go on amongst black people. My God. Anyway, y'all, as always, until next time.